I'm Benjamin Hall, Fox News correspondent and New York Times best-selling author. Join me for my brand new podcast, Searching for Heroes. Make sure you subscribe to this series wherever you download podcasts and leave a rating and review.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss show. In today's episode, I wanted to talk on pretty much some of the hardest things you have to deal with when dealing with depression, for those that's just freshly starting with it. Yeah, it's tough, if I don't know who or what is the or I guess talking to people out there, it's whatever it is that caused it for you, it could be a lot of different things. I know with me, I have to say it took a lot to really get me to a point where I was just depressed to the every single day. Because that's what I had to say I'm dealing with now. But I remember as a kid, it was just a lot of things, I guess, that it was a buildup. It was stuff that happened to me when I was a kid. I'd go to sleep, wake up, and I'm brand new day, fresh start. Didn't care about none of the stuff that happened the day before. I always look forward. And that was one thing that I had to say I appreciated, from me as a kid, is I always had looked forward. I did not let nothing destroy me. I didn't let nothing, occupy my mind. I had to say I kind of in a way was dealing with it, but it was building up. It wasn't how it's in full effect now, where it's I'm sitting down thinking of this stuff over and over again. Back then, I'm bro, I could go freaking forever, and now it's I don't even think about that stuff no more, obviously, because, some child stuff, but now I'm dealing with the adult version of it. So it's relatively the same stuff that I was dealing with, but just, the adult version of it now, but... Nah, man, and that's the thing where it's the stuff that I've dealt with, it's different from the next person. The next person could deal with something that's far less or far worse, but that's the thing with depression. There's no such thing as a depression that's worse than somebody's or that's better than somebody's. It's at the end of the day, depression is depression. You can't look at you can't look at another person's situation and be oh, that's not enough. You need to find some real things to be depressed about. You need to find some actual, no, that's something where oh, I'm readjusting my microphone because it's a little wobbly, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that there, a person in this world because you've dealt with far more worse things than me. And I'm not even saying that my depression is better. I'm it's equal. I see it as this. All depression is equal. If at one point in time you was happy, you wasn't worried about nothing, and then out of nowhere, all of a sudden now you're sad and you got just this, you don't even feel like wanting to do nothing. It's nah, that depression is depression. There ain't no such thing as it being worse or better than another person's depression. So don't ever let nobody in this world tell you that, oh, you're too, people are oh, you're a child, you shouldn't be depressed, or you come from a tough family, you shouldn't be depressed, or it's they're trying to come up with every excuse on why you shouldn't be depressed. But it's fam, words ain't going to, unless it's words of helping me, but telling me stop being depressed, or you shouldn't be I don't want to be, but it's here. It's it's a scar, it's a pain, it's it's something that is there. I can't just my thing is this. You think if you get some cut on your arm or leg or whatever, your face, you think you could just easily, that's what depression is. It is a cut. It is a extremely deep cut, but it's a cut. You can't just tell it to go. Because if that's the case, it's okay, you, next time you stump your toe, or next time you hit your arm on something, you're a funny bone, just tell it to stop and see how that works. It's not, okay? So that's why it's when people, there's anybody in this world that ever tells you to stop being depressed, do not listen to them. Obviously, work towards it, But if somebody just like, they're like, that's a person that doesn't care about your depression. That's a person where it's like they either have not dealt with depression themselves. And even if they did and they tell somebody some stuff like that, it's like, fam, you've dealt with this. You should know where I'm coming from out of all of this. To just tell somebody to stop, it's like, you don't have to show sympathy to a person, but at least have respect for a person. It's like, depression, that's the thing where it's like, with some people, it affects them a lot harder to the point where they start, damaging themselves or even go as far as to take themselves out this world. And that's where it's like, that's what like fears me with depression, that it'll get a person to that point, and I've never have reached that point, and I, thank God for it. But man, it's scary. It's scary to know like that's what goes, through a person's mind, where it's all like that they don't want to be. And that's the thing where it's like nobody should ever have that feeling of like you're not welcomed or you're not loved. And I had to say that's like the main thing of my depression. It's like me not feeling welcomed or like loved in places. I'm trying to like pop my back, but anyways, but no, like that's overall where I come from out of all of it. It's like just not feeling welcomed or loved. And so it put me in the state of mind where like, okay, I got two routes to go down. And that's try to gain a bunch of random people's love and all that crap, or just solo it. And I'm like, and that's, like I kind of like doing a blend of both, where it's like, okay, like I am, being cool with people, but at the same time, like I'm preparing myself if I had to live my whole life alone. Because I'm like, it's going to get to a point in time where I'm like, I'm in a big old fancy house by myself, nobody's there, and I'm just alone. And it's like, and it's kind of like that now. It's like, it's funny because there's this game that I've been playing like crazy amount of times on Twitch, and I look at that game and I'm like, bro, like this is honestly like my life right now. Like there's this game I've been playing called Planet Crafter, and I'm pretty sure if you've been in my stream, you see me play recently, but anyways, it's literally just you. It's like, so the game is pretty much you just making a planet like livable. But no, like I'm looking at that game and there's been times I've been sitting down playing that game and I'm like, bro, like this is literally my life right now. Like, yeah, I'm like on the game, it's like you're by yourself. But they kind of have it where you're getting like messages from people, like you're being somewhat social with people. But I'm like, that's literally my life, trying to build something that seems impossible, but it is possible. And then somewhat socializing with people. So like, that's where like, I feel like that I'm at in life right now. And I'm like, man, it's crazy, but that's where I'm at in life. And I'm like, I wish it would be different. But I'm like, that's the thing though, with depression, it's like, it ain't gonna just stop overnight. For those that's dealing with it and stuff, it's definitely not going to stop overnight. I wish it was something like that and that's the thing where it's like, I feel like with depression, it's like you're thinking on all the different things that will help you. And just because, and that's like a thing that I want to tell people, it's like just because you think of it doesn't mean that it's going to happen right away. It's obviously like in that game, it's like you're going to have to like work towards this stuff. So if there is something in this world that is, leaving you depressed, it's like, you just got to get up and you just got to kill it and with whatever that you're doing. So like if your job is, leaving you depressed, it's like be the best employee at your job and work towards, or at least like work towards a much more better position at your job and a much more better position in life to where you don't have to go back to that place no more. But don't sit around, like what I'm doing right now. It's like I'm doing the content creating stuff. So I'm like, I have to, just keep working and working until I progress and stuff. But it's hard. I find myself a lot of times, just laying in bed, like, cause I was like, yesterday I was sitting there trying to get up out of bed, and it's like, bro, it's like, honestly, when I'm doing that, it feels like I'm like taking a bunch of just like, just things like just weight off of me to just get to push me to that point to just finally be like, okay, let me get up, put my socks on, start doing things, making a TikTok video, a YouTube video, or playing a video game. But yeah, it's like it's a lot, bro. Like it's one of those things where I'm like, man, like I wish I. And there's at times where I'm like, okay, I like right away, I'm like, I just get up. But then there's at times where it's like, okay, like I'm like, it's kind of like, and I don't know, maybe that's like the and that's the thing where it's like I had just kind of watched this video for the first time, but only the first half of it. But it's Mac Miller's video, Self Care, and I kind of look at that video and then know the life that like Mac Miller had, because I've been a frequent follower of Mac. But anyways, I watched that video, and it's that part in Self Care where he's in the coffin and he's just kind of like sitting there. I feel like that first part was just kind of like him accepting what was surrounding him. And you just gotta be at peace with it. You can't panic. You can't, because then I feel like it's just gonna overwhelm you, and then you just you're gonna be in a position where you feel stuck. And so he eventually did like punch himself out the coffin and stuff, and got out. And then I paused the video and was just kind of like I think at that point I was getting ready for bed and getting ready to start up my stream, but I saw that and was just like, dang, man. That's like, it's like people look at that and they're confused. Like, what does this guy do with the video? What is this? But I'm like, I feel like with a lot of like movies and music videos and, whatever it is, like there's a lot of like deeper meanings behind it. I feel like, you have to like go through that stuff. I mean, I don't know if everybody, well, I'm pretty sure every Mac Miller fan that listens to his music frequently, it's like you probably at least the day he passed away, I'm pretty sure a lot of people was dealing with depression and stuff, because I'm like, no, that was sad too. So it's like kind of, I guess, like seeing that. But it's like there's so many different, it's like from death to freaking heartbreaks, what else, bad jobs, careers not going in your favor and stuff. There's a lot of different things. But that's what it's like, I guess like what you overall have to do is just live with it. And it sucks, but that's like, it's like I was saying, it's like it's like a cut on your arm. It's going to be painful, but you're gonna have to live with it. You can't just grab it and throw it out in the middle of the street and be like, I don't want this cut no more. You're gonna have to deal with that pain until it heals. It's like the scar is gonna be there, that trauma is gonna be there, but at least it heals. And it's not, and that's like, I had to say, like, that's where I'm kind of at from the stuff that I was dealing with in 2020, where it was like, it was stuff that was causing me like constant pain, to the point where it was like, it was honestly tough, like just being here, like it was tough, man. Like, and just overall waking up and then not getting, just like and it was like, no, it's like dealing with some stuff that I dealt with as a kid. And it's like, it's just seeing it as an adult version. And I'm like, I've found myself being the same person that I was when I was a kid. And that's having a crying moment. So yeah, you're going to have your crying moments. You're going to have your breakdown moments. And yeah, it's, it's just, and it's because of that, like that build up with it, like I had to say, like with me, it was, I had to say I come from a tough family. Like a lot of us we don't really talk about our depression. Like I feel like just now I'm kind of hearing about like, people in my family, like them dealing with their depression. And it's like, dang, as a kid, you don't really think about that stuff because, you're just a kid living it. And then as you get older, then you start paying attention. And it's like, fam, like, dang, it's like a lot of people deal with that crap. But no, it's like family that came out and told me about it. And I'm like, and then it's like, even like hearing like past stories that was told to me, it's like, and I started dealing with it when I was in high school. So it was that, like that immediate, like the thing is that I'm like trying to remember is just that last day where I wasn't depressed, like how, and I'm trying to think, like, I honestly don't remember. Like, it's crazy to think, like, it's been almost 10 years. Like, like, it'll be, like, this year, it'll be either be next year or this year, it'll be, like, 10 years since that stuff, like, has really overtaken my life and things. And, it sucks to say it, but I'm, like, at the same time, I'm, like, hey, I've been dealing with it for that long. And, it's one of those things where, like, and there's another episode that I am going to be doing where I kind of talk on, like, another, like, I guess, like, a portion of it, of my depression, but it's not, like, a big part. It's not, like, something that I'm, losing sleep over. It's giving me, like, traumatic nightmares at night, but it's something where it kind of, like, talks on, like, my paranoia and stuff, so I am going to save that for the next episode or at some point, because I'm trying to record a lot of episodes and stuff tonight. But yeah, I just wanted to talk on that and things. Depression is hard, but at the end of the day, you just gotta overall, like, I guess, like, show people that you can live with it, because a lot of people, it's like they think it's like, it's something that you can't live with. Even I thought at some point in time, like, you can't live with this, like, it's impossible, but it is. Everything in this world is possible, so don't think for a second it's not. But, it's like you just gotta, it's like a wild dog. Like, it's gonna take some time to train that wild dog, but eventually, at some point in time, you're gonna be walking down the street with no leash, and that's what it's like, you're gonna be just going places, and it's like, hey, this depression, it ain't gonna overtake my life, so... Anyways, and that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode, and peace.